play it down to their level. Let's not play down to the level. Let's play like bulls.
Because we more disciplined, we work harder than them, and we play together. Schools don't have those three qualities. We play together. We all wear the same color uniform, we play for LMC.
All right, right now I'm with Coach Ian, pretty much the head of Connective Inc. He coached me when I was in 9th grade through 12th grade. And pretty much this is how everything kind of started. Connective Athletics started before we even had a name to it. But I remember I didn't score for the first 3 quarters, and I started to notice the game was about to end. So I probably had 14 points in the 4th quarter, and coach was like, "Listen, you have 14 points in the 4th quarter. So imagine if you had 14 in each quarter." And then he really just opened my mind up to playing hard for a whole game instead of waiting. Well, coach always held us accountable, like crazy, like on and off the court. You know what I mean? You'll see him in the hallways, like we'll be kind of late to class, and you see coach in the hallways, like, "Yo, you gotta get to class." So I learned from coach that coaching wasn't only on the basketball court; it was off the court too. I got to make sure that my kids are doing what they have to do off the court and on the court, because it's actually more important. They're student athletes, so I got to make sure student always comes first. So I got to make sure they're actually doing what they have to do on the court, so that they can play basketball and they can be better people, because basketball, like all the other is a subject. Mm-hmm. So one thing I try to do is try to get high schools involved with my middle schools, because I know a lot of high schools are looking to recruit middle school players, but I always make sure that it's always a good place for my players, my student athletes. I gotta make sure that it's gonna be academically good for them, and they're gonna get the most out of basketball. And it's been going on for a long time, man. Coach opened it. I remember Coach first opened the gym up. I remember this like it was yesterday. Coach first opened the gym up. I'm thinking, matter of fact, before Coach opened the gym up, I think it was just open run, and people was just coming to hoop, and it was like bad open run. Like it was just whatever. Like kids wouldn't take it seriously. Games would just end because nobody's really keeping score, and that intensity wasn't there. And so when Coach kind of took it over, eventually we started playing, but it was more intense. It wasn't like if you lose, you won't have to run. If the loser's team have to run, that's just it. So nobody wanted to run, so the intensity was up there. And then one of the Coach James had this rule where you couldn't call your own fouls. When the older dudes started coming, the intensity was even higher, because it's like we got to bang with these guys and we got to figure it out. And it was no longer. It was more based off skills and trying to figure things out, and more mental. It's a more mental game, because we were still in high school. We couldn't really bang with these guys that's playing ball in college. And it's the same way. Nothing really has changed. It's crazy the amount of kids that it's just growing and growing. It's crazy the amount of kids that come and come hoop with us and come want to get better.
When you think about Connective, if I had to sum it up in 2 words, I would say intentional experience, like intentional experiences. Like that's what we try to. The youth that come in through our program, that's what we do, right? We don't just do something to meet a budget, or to say, okay, we're going to do it for the sake of doing it. Like, we're very intentional when we do things, even the way we curate our seasons during the winter, and how we choose to curate them during the summertime, adding an element of travel with Battle in the Bluffs, adding an element of hoops without necessarily having to pay to play, with what we do in the Eastside House Classic and other places around hopefully other places around the country very soon, is very intentional, and we want to make sure that the experiences that the kids have, they can walk away with it. We have a very extensive breakdown of the what's and whys of our curriculum and why we do things, and a number of things that we do, two-tiered accountability. Like, we have those too, and so, those are important. But if I had to sum all of that up, of why we do and what we do in 2 words, it would be intentional experiences.